Did you know that pata is slang for foot in Spanish? Maybe that's why Miyazaki decided to make it utterly broken. Fists weapons. You use them to fist your enemies. You may remember when we talked about some of them in this video. Oh, well, I guess we didn't talk about them yet. In any case, fist weapons are special. They're special because they're one of the unique weapon classes that, by default, come as paired weapons. Except for the grafted dragon. That one sucks balls. That means that when you try to hold the weapon with both of your greasy hands, you instead pull a second one out of your poop manufacturer and hold one in each hand. That makes sense, because imagine how goofy it'd be to use one brass knuckle with two hands. Yeah, pretty goofy. The concept of power stancing already existed in Dark Souls 2, so in this one, they made the sensible decision of making these weapons 2-in-1 to not give gamers a moulding headache. Fist weapons are characterized for their extremely shitty range.
Ooh.
Bruh.
And quick, successive attacks that may either deal acceptable damage or completely bust your balls off. You could say that there are 3 categories of fists in Elden Ring. The regular fists, like the CHEATS. The ones with the overhead smash like the balls and the hedgehog balls. And the pointy fists like the Katar, the veteran prosthesis. All of them feature low poise damage attacks that deal moderate damage with slight changes in their moveset, particularly their heavy attacks. Back in patch 1.08, fists were brutally strong because they received a speed buff that enabled all of them to perform this insano-true combo, where you'd do a running heavy attack that would stun the enemy for long enough to land nearly anything afterwards. Pulling out insane damage with this was fairly easy back in the day, and naturally Lord Miyazaki had to intervene, reducing the poise damage animation value of regular and overhead smash fists in patch 1.09, and from pointy fists in patch 1.12. However, they sort of missed something very important. Pata is a new DLC weapon, and if I simply showed you this thing without context, you'd probably think it's some type of longsword, but no.
That's quite big.
This is supposed to be a pointy fist weapon. Remember how I told you that the main characteristics of fist weapons were their rapid successive attacks and their outright shitty range to compensate for it? Well, this thing is longer than Gwendolyn's
Long.
It directly goes against the design of pointy fists, which are supposed to have a very efficient and fast-running light attack at the expense of having short range. Having the blade of your pointy fists being 20 light years long completely defeats the premise of the weapon type. It's kind of a Nagakiba moment, as Nagakiba has the fast version of certain ashes of war, despite filling the gap between the earth and the sun. Oh well, but if it has this absurd range, surely it must be compensated for by having lower damage. Right? I'd not blame you for thinking that. But no, Pata deals even more damage than the Katar.
Oh my god, bro.
The less well-dotted counterpart of the Pata, regardless of infusion type. This makes the Pata perfect for nearly any build, as it only requires 11 strength and 15 dexterity to use, in addition to simply weighing 4 units. It blends perfectly regardless of stat investment.
I got you, fam!
And if the range, damage and versatility weren't enough, there's something else that outright breaks the weapon. Like we mentioned, fists used to have a true combo where hitting someone with a running heavy attack would leave them open for a neutral heavy attack follow-up. This was patched for obvious reasons in patch 1.12. But when they introduced Pata, they forgot to patch it into it as well. As a result, Pata not only is the strongest, longest fist weapon in the game, it also has a nasty true combo.
Ouchie.
Since the Pata is a DLC weapon, you could argue this is a pay-to-win item. Oh, that's so yummy. Now gankers will bully you, and you're left wishing you hadn't spent the last of your allowance on Funko Pops, don't you? Well, worry not, little Poggy, because Instant Gaming has got your back. As a website with over 10 million satisfied customers, Instant Gaming spits on the overinflated prices assigned by the man and offers great leniency to those economically challenged poggies who really want their fourth anime armpits video game. You can rest easy knowing that all of the amazing discounts in games, game cards, and subscriptions you can shop for in instant gaming are safely backed up by great Trustpilot reviews, alongside night and day customer support. And of course, it doesn't matter if you built an altar for Gabe Newell or Bill Gates, nor what console has replaced your dad's photo in the family picture book. Instant gaming will always have you covered.
But wait! There's more!
By clicking my custom link in the description or pinned comment and creating an instant gaming account, you will participate in a free giveaway where you'll be able to purchase anything of your liking. No purchases necessary. Just creating an account is enough. So what are you waiting for? Those morally questionable games won't add themselves to your Steam library. Huge thanks to Instant Gaming for sponsoring this video. I honestly can't imagine what they were smoking when they made this thing. The whole concept of the weapon class is thrown into the garbage when you add a cajillion range to it. Seriously, who came up with this thing?
What were they thinking?
Don't get us wrong, we love using it and it's a great tool in all invasions. But we feel disgusting after using it because we know this thing is just a sentient design flaw. We really think it should be nerfed. There's nothing to do about the range because it is what it is. They're not going to saw half of this huge stabbing dick at this point, but at least remove the devastating true combo like every other weapon in its class. And since these are fists, using barbaric raw with them will enable that repulsive hyper armor 3-hit combo heavy attack that can tank almost anything and deals a metric fuckton of damage. So if you use the patter correctly, you don't need anything else. Great for chasing, great for trading, great for getting a degree at Krusty's clown school. This thing does it all. Not content with that, there's a ton of ways to enhance the pata to make it even more deadly. Since the bread and butter of this Sister Fister is the obnoxious light running attack, using the lacerating crossed tree talisman and leader's armor will enhance its damage by a lot. This obviously enhances the running heavy attack as well, but despite the true combo, the running light attack is 10 times more asinine. The Rotten Wing sword insignia is also a good tool because you're going to build consecutive attacks like crazy with this, no matter what you do. If you're running the barbaric raw tumor build, both the raw medallion and the Highland axe in the offhand will give you bonus extra damage and will also enhance the damage of the 3-hit heavy attack, which is also enhanced by multi-hit talismans. This one particularly is a level 150 vagabond focused on strength, but the patter can be used on literally any build you make, so whether you're a strength Neanderthal or a virgin intelligence nerd, feel free to add the patter to your arsenal to poke goobers in the PP.
But don't worry, not everything is rose-tinted for this thing. There are a few ways to combat the patter without losing hair in the process.
Oh my god, bolas.
Having 133 poise will render the true combo useless, as enemies will be able to roll out of it. Hyper armor weapons can fight the pater quite well if done correctly, as trading with it will usually be favorable towards the hyper armor user. If those things fail, well, you can always join them in the cancer.